Alright, we've got game one with our sweet blue-white deck. This is not the hand we want at all. We've got all the mana, we've got enough to play Reliquary Raider, but we're going to redraw this, because we don't do anything for 4 turns. Alright, could be worse than this. We don't have blue for either of these cards, but fortunately we've got that extra blue sigil in the deck, and this guy can fetch it for us. So this is going to be a little bit slow, but we should have a decent amount of power here to catch up with. One thing that is, Permafrost. This card needs to be good for us because we passed a big legend for it that I could disenchant later. No, there we go. Just as planned. Get in there, Prince. One thing that's pretty amusing. Oh no, it's a frog. Does the frog takes 1 damage too? Alright, so that's pretty bad tempo for us, and this thing is a 4/4 now, so it's quick draw. That is a little bit bad for us, but fortunately we should be able to kill this with a 5/5 at some point. We're going to try to Twinning Ritual one of our hatchlings, but I don't know if we're doing that here. We could also Permafrost that thing. We'll probably just do that because it removes it now. So let's play this and fetch up a blue sigil for our chalice when we draw it. Blue sigil, come on. All right, there we go. And we'll just zap this thing so we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, that's kind of the downside of those princes is if they have a card like Temper, I guess it gets rid of it. But I don't really think that's a very good card. So at least our opponent used up a card playing Temper. And we can do this. Do we get 2 more copies of it? Oh yes, oh yes, we are doing it. And we'll battle for 2. Oh, probably should pass the turn when we're done with it. Yeah, so I would. It seems like Predator's Instinct would be great on a 5/5 for 3, but unfortunately, then we just end up with a frog with Killer. So that's not something that is going to work out too well for us. This is going to be really good with Killer, though. Let's see. We've got a 4/2, and we don't really want it to hit us, so we're going to try to block that with our 2/1. Or we could just pick it off right now, and I suppose we may as well. Like, what else are we really going to do here? This lets us get an extra 2 damage in. Yeah, that's fine. The opponent doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot so far, and we did not actually get a 2 for 1 out of that because the Ornate Katana draws them a card when they play it, so we just killed their Lithra Ranger, and that one replaced itself. Okay, we're going to try to block that thing when we can. But our Killer blocker is going to be pretty good for it, and we can safely do this attack because the opponent will not block with their 3/2. So we get to hit them and keep playing sigils. Now that we've got 7 mana, we're going to save our sigils. The reason for that is we have the Empower card that costs 7, and actually we could stop at 6. When we have 6 in play, we could stop there and then just play a sigil when we need to. But if we stop at 7, it gives us stuff we can discard for like Blind Storyteller, and it gives us cards that we can use to get extra 5/5s. This is unblockable, but we're not really too concerned about that. And actually, we should probably do our draw before. We should do this before we attack. So we'll draw a card and discard. False Prince is nice. We'll send those 3 in there. This is probably not getting blocked, although we are putting quite a bit of pressure on the opponent. And we'll get a False Prince in return. This does leave... The opponent should know what our last card is, but that's okay because we have a 5/5 out instead of a 2/1. I think we're going to win this game pretty easily here. We have 1 less card in hand, but we've got so much more on our board right now. So there we go. That is game 1. So that went pretty well. That was, even though we started off with all 1 color mana, that was like about the best we could expect to do in a game. We did lose our False Prince instead of getting to bash them with it. This hand is nice. We've got a False Prince, we've got a Storyteller, And this is pretty cool. This can pump up our dinosaur. So we're for sure keeping this. We actually might discard the dinosaur here because we're going to want to play most of our other cards. So we'll get, almost ended the turn. We'll get our looter out and we'll get rid of something next turn. If we draw, yeah, I was going to say if we draw a Twinning Ritual, we might play that, but we're probably just going to loot here. And if we draw a White Sigil, then we'll discard this blue one. We did not, so we're probably discarding a dinosaur here because we're going to need to play this guy next turn. Although we're going to ramp into those, so maybe we're discarding Serpent Trainer. Let's see. So our turn 3 is going to be Amber Acolyte. Our turn 4 is probably going to be False Prince, but our turn 4 could be Ageless Mentor, and then we could make our dinosaurs big. So yeah, I don't think the opponent is blue-white, so they'll have flyers, which means they'll probably be able to block Serpent Trainer, so we'll get rid of that. This is just in case we don't draw a Sigil on our turn. We don't want to miss the land because we need to play Amber Acolyte, and we're hoping that we'll draw a Sigil within our next 2 turns. Oh, and it's good that we got some use out of that because that thing is dying now. That means that our opponent has a 4/4 for 5 in their hand. And we're going to pick up a White Sigil here and pass. This is nice too because this will, if we somehow don't hit the 5th Sigil, we can still play this. There is the 5th one, so we'll do the attack. Wham. And I think we're playing Ageless Mentor, and then we're just going to play some really big dinosaurs. Pathetic. Using a Lightning Strike on our 2/1. You are going to get attacked so much more than that next couple of turns here. They just got an Echo card, so maybe we'll see what that was. The opponent did not play anything. Oh, they're stuck on mana, that's why. It's a really easy game when your opponent's stuck on mana. Alright. Big dinos. And we might just get a concede here. We'll see. Hopefully we can play another big dino. This is great. I'm really oh yeah, there we go. Sweet, sweet. That was hardly a game at all. But that's okay. We'll take the free wins when we can get them, and we'll go ahead and do another one right now. We'll take the free wins when we can get them, because we will also have to, unfortunately, give up wins when the mana screw happens to us. We'll do our best to avoid it by using looters and stuff. Oh. If we can just repeat that sort of game 5 more times, that would be perfect. It's not very good practice, but it sure is fun to play 8/7s unopposed. Whiny Tortoise. Not really the kind of hand we're looking for. We're gonna redraw. No looter. That is really bad luck. We've got double blue sigils, no looters, and a bunch of expensive cards. We've got one of the white sigils we need to curve out, though, so let's just draw another one of those within the next 2 turns. There we go. And we'll play a blue one, just so we can give away some free information to the opponent. Yeah, this is looking pretty good so far. So we'll play that one, and we'll False Prince. And now we've got a nice curve going on. We've even got our combo of Lumen Defender and Predator's Instinct. I am also interested to find out whether you can stack double Killer. Like, when a unit has Killer, you can only use that once. So I don't know if it loses Killer after you do that. What is this guy? A 4/2 flying. Okay, so the opponent played their Elder's Feather on this, I guess just because they wanted to use up their mana. So the opponent is probably going to do a 4-drop next turn. We're going to go ahead and bash for 5, and we'll play this. Our plays are pretty laid out anyway, but we'll see what their 4 is. It is good that they played the Elder's Feather now because they're unlikely to want to make this block. All right. Well, that's pretty big. Does not look like we're going to be attacking with this guy right now, but I would be willing to trade I would be willing to trade the False Prince for this, because this is 3 cards. So let's hit with False Prince. They will probably not block, but if they don't, that's really great for us because they take 5. And we'll get this guy out, and then next turn we can give that killer, and we can trade our 1/5 for their 3 cards. We'll be using 2 cards for it, so we're not getting that much out of it, but we will get our flyer through also, and we'll play another flyer as well. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll get a 3 for 2 here, which is card advantage, and we do get to send all the creatures. All right, sweet. Well, that was a really quick 3 games. We kind of just overran a couple of those opponents while that second one got mana screwed. I'm going to cut the video here. I'll be back for a couple more games.